All right, members, today we're going to talk about the escape and arrival method. You're going to learn how to tap into your customer's subconscious so that you can actually sell with feeling and get them from point A to point B. We're going to go into 3 different layers and levels of what each aspect is going to need to be for you to actually do this successfully, and show you the way that is going to be the most beneficial for not only you to get the result you're looking for, but to be able to provide the results for your prospects, clients, and customers to see and feel that you are going to be the best choice for them and to really knock out all the competition around you. So first, we got to focus on building your stockpile. Okay, so what we want to do first is list your prospects' 3 biggest frustrations as they relate to your offer. Okay, now we're also going to list the 3 symptoms that these frustrations cause or are linked to. Now you might be thinking, well, this sounds a lot like the situations and solutions exercise. And it is very similar, but there is some differences. And if you've already done that exercise inside of the academy, then you're going to be at a head start. But if you haven't, it's totally okay, because I'm going to show you exactly how to lay everything out today in this training so that you could feel confident moving forward with creating the content and demonstrating to your market that you can actually help them. The third thing we're going to want to do is list 3 of the biggest emotions that they feel as a result. And I'm going to give you some examples right now. So if we break down these 3 columns, frustrations, symptoms, and emotions, which one do you think is going to create the best marketing message? Are we going to sell to the frustration? Are we going to sell to the symptom? Or are we going to sell to the emotion? Well, we're going to go through that right now so you can have a clear-cut look at why one of these is a lot better to sell to than the other 2. But in order to actually sell to the third one, we got to know what the other 2 are. So as a frustration, somebody who's in our market that obviously we're working with, whether it be with you guys in the academy or with our private clients, it's one of the biggest frustrations is that they can't convert, right? They're not making enough sales from the traffic that they're getting. A second frustration is that they can't actually get the traffic. They don't know where to go or how to actually get the eyeballs on their offers. And the third biggest frustration is going to be overwhelm. Okay, simply just having too much knowledge, right? Analysis of paralysis. And so what we want to do is make sure that we can minimize that overwhelm and get them some results, right? Well, the symptoms of these frustrations now, okay, if they can't convert, a symptom of that would be low sales and financial uncertainty. Okay, which is a nasty place to be, and I understand, I've been there myself. And then a symptom of can't getting traffic, you're not being able to get traffic, is there's no forward momentum. There's no, you're plateauing. It's just, we can't build this ball of momentum to actually get you the results that you're going for in the time frame that you would really like to see it happen. And the overwhelm, a symptom of that is being frozen, not doing anything, and just being stuck because you don't know where to begin. All nasty feelings and symptoms of these frustrations. Well, what emotions come from these symptoms? So the frustration, and then you have the actual symptom, but what do you feel when you are experiencing these symptoms? Well, you're experiencing the emotion of fear and worry. You're fearful and you're worrisome of the low sales, the financial uncertainty, not sure if you can pay rent, pay your bills, not sure if you can keep your doors open for your business. It's a lot of fear and a lot of worry. These are the emotions. We also have inside of the can't get traffic, no forward momentum. What's the emotion tied behind that? Well, it's frustration and lack of confidence. And when you're frustrated and the confidence is not there, what happens? The results stall, right? Because it's the creative blocks, or your creativity gets blocked by this frustration, which is going to prevent you from actually creating the content that you need, developing the products, the sales letters, the whole message behind what you're doing. It's going to create this frustration, which is going to cause this no forward momentum, right? And so these are the emotions that you're feeling. Now, the emotion of overwhelm and the symptom of frozen is going to be stress and hopelessness. A lot of stress involved with building a business if you are overwhelmed. You're not sure where to begin. You don't know really who to listen to. You're not sure if it's going to work for you. It's just, oh my gosh, there's so many things out there that are being said by these people, and I want to do them all, but I don't know where to begin. I don't know what's going to work for me. I only got a tiny budget. I only have this much time. And these emotions that you're now feeling are stress and hopelessness. Now, just by looking at this, if we were going to create a marketing message that was talking about, hey guys, you having a problem with converting your offer, right? Or would it be, hey guys, are you experiencing a lot of low sales and financial uncertainty? Or do you think that the best marketing message would be, hey, are you fearful that you cannot keep rent open, or you can't pay rent for your house, or can't put your kids through school if you had a same slow month like last month happen again this month, right? Are you worried that you're not going to be in business 2 years from now because of the past experiences and how financially uncertain your business is. Now, when you're talking to the emotions, this is exactly what people are going to be buying from, right? We want to speak to these emotions. And if you can see just by this basic layout that when you start to make your marketing message based around the emotions that they're going to feel due to the symptoms that they're experiencing and the frustrations they have, you're going to get to a deeper level. Think of it like a shell almost. The outer layer is going to be the frustrations, the mid layer is going to be the symptoms, and that inner core is going to be the emotions that they're feeling during all of that. And that's going to be the best place that we want to start when creating your marketing message. Now, our job is to replace the negative emotions with positive ones by eliminating the frustrations, by moving them towards their desires, by using the escape and arrival framework that I'm about to go over with you, okay? Now, what people really buy is what they're buying is really escape and arrival. Escaping from where they don't want to be and arriving to where they do want to be. Okay, now here's the escape and arrival. We map this, how we want to move forward in this is we want to map this out on all three levels. Okay, and there's three levels. The first level is going to be the global level. This is all the things that they must do to escape their current situation and arrive at their desired situation. This is basically the big picture overview. Okay, now as an example in the dating world, there's a lot of things as, you know, if we're speaking to men right now, because I can't speak for women, but I could speak for men that if we wanted to go ahead and get a date, if you were single and you were looking to, you know, get that relationship with a woman, then you're going to have to do a few things. And this is the big picture. Think of it like a 30,000 foot view. You have to change your appearance, right? You've got to change your approach. You've got to, or at least have a good approach. You've got to understand how to have a communicative conversation to actually compel them to respond back to you when you talk to them. You have to know how to get their number, and then you got to get the date. So think of that as the big picture, okay? Because I mean, you can imagine that if you're the kind of guy, or if you know somebody, if you've seen this happen before, where you know you don't take showers, you're driving a busted car with some bumper stickers that says, you know, like "I love farts," which is an actual real bumper sticker, okay? Then you're gonna have to change that up because the likelihood of you getting that date or getting that person, that woman to respond is very slim to none. Would you agree? So we got to be able to understand that you got a lot of things as a big picture that we want to be able to do. Now you have the milestone level. Okay, so one layer deeper than the global level is going to be the milestone level. And this is where we're going to go deep on one of those steps. And in the dating example above, it's maybe how to get the phone number. So we have the big picture walking them through exactly what needs to be done, everything that they need to do. But the milestone level is going to be a more singular approach to that one step that you can help them achieve, right? As this, in this case, how to get the phone number. And then there's also the emotional level, okay? Which is creating emotional states that are conducive to making a good decision. These are the three levels from escape to arrival. And by mapping these out, which I'm going to share with you in just a second, how to exactly do that, we can now create a marketing message. We can make our content, we can make our products, our service match to that emotional state that's going to be conducive to making a good decision. And as we have discussed in prior trainings, people buy off of emotions. It's not logic, right? 95% plus of the people who are making buying decisions in today's world are buying because of the way that it's going to make them feel, not because it's logical and the stats prove that this is going to be the best decision. Very small portion of people, and we don't want to focus on that portion of the market, right? Because those people are going to be quick to change their mind and quick to have that buyer's remorse. So what we want to do is come at it from an emotional level, but we can't do that unless we understand the global level and the milestone level. So as let's pretend that our customer right now that we're going to create this timeline for is going to be a business owner who wants to sell online. And of course, they don't have anything right now. They don't have a website. They don't have anything set up, but they want to be able to take from absolutely nothing and they want to get a website that actually sells stuff online. Okay, well, we got to be able to paint it out. Where do they want to escape from and where do they want to arrive to? Now, if we look at all these milestones, right, we're going to want to say, okay, well, the first one is we want to set up the website. Okay, that's going to be number one. We have to set up the website. Then we have to go and basically accept payments, because what good is a website that can't accept payments if you want to sell stuff online? Then we have the fundamental pages, right? The about me, the services, the home page, those kinds of pages that are going to be on your website. Then we have the marketing pages, right? Your sales letters and so on that are going to actually sell your stuff, because you can't just have people go to a website and buy from your About Me page or your home page. You're going to have marketing pages that are in line to help you sell what it is that you're actually offering. And, got a little ahead of ourselves. And then you have to have the marketing message. What you want to do is with the marketing message, you got to make sure that, okay, this message is going to match what I'm actually selling on my website. And then after that milestone, then we got to be able to take them through an automation sequence, right? You got to start automating that. How are you going to deliver the goods and services? Or how are you going to follow up with them? Do you have an ascension sequence? How are you going to, maximize your customers' value? And how are you going to deliver more value to them if they don't buy from you right up front? Then you want to be able to master traffic, because again, if you don't have eyeballs on your website or people actually visiting your offer, seeing what you have to sell, then you're not going to be able to make any money. And that's what we want to do for this particular case, is take this business owner who wants to sell online from escaping from not having a website that doesn't sell stuff to arriving into a place where he has a website that actually sells stuff. Then you want to move on to analytics, because you got to be able to track what's selling, what's not, and is the traffic that's actually getting to your offer and visiting your page, are they actually converting? That's where the analytics is going to come in. And then finally, you have the advanced marketing stuff. This is the fun stuff that we always love, of course, which is, the behaviorally dynamic follow-ups, the dynamic campaigns, being able to, retarget and create all this kind of cool stuff that happens at the very last piece. But again, that's all optional. I mean, you can go ahead and start selling stuff online without that last step. It's just you're going to be able to sell a lot more with it. Now, let's look at the milestone. Okay, now remember what we mentioned. The milestone, what I just showed you was the global overview. The milestone now is going to be, let's say we take one of those things that we were just going through, one of those milestones within that big overview, and now we're going to break that down, okay? If we were to look at that, it's going to be no pages to has pages, right? That's where we want to take them to. So what we want to do is make sure that we have a web page builder, right? Whether it's WordPress or, ClickFunnels or whatever it is that you're using to build your web pages. And then we want to be able to have our product. You got to be able to have a product a product page if you want to sell stuff. Then you have to have an order page if you actually want to take those orders. And then a thank you page once they make that purchase. And then you want to integrate that with your merchant accounts, with your automated back or follow-ups, with all that kind of stuff. And so imagine what we just did is we just broke down a global view to a bunch of different milestones where if they were to follow and they were to actually do the steps that we had laid out, they would be able to have a website that was selling stuff. But again, let's break that down to one layer inside of the milestone, which is going to be the fundamental pages. Now, if they were to not have any pages, but they had a website set up, perfect. Now we want to be able to make sure that they are going from no pages to has pages that can sell stuff. And if they follow and they actually do the things that are inside of this milestone sequence, then you're going to be able to see that they go from not having a page to having a page that sells stuff, okay, and that can collect payments and do all that cool thing. So here's a quick note though. You do not have to create content and products around every single milestone. Just the ones that are relevant to you, okay? Now, here are the ones that are most relevant to us. When we go back to the big overview of things, I'm not going to be creating trainings or products or services around website setups, around accepting payments or creating your homepage and your about me. That's not what we do. That's stuff that, of course, if we're going to share with them the actual intricacies in getting from point A to point B, now you've helped them see, okay, well, this is the big picture. And then we can go into really specializing in specific areas that that's most relevant to you and your service. So if you see, we were outlining the 3 top milestones that we really focus on with our clients, which is, looking and crafting the successful marketing pages, helping them craft their marketing message and creating the marketing message, and then setting up the automation or showing them how to set up the automation. Now, again, we also have the advanced marketing as well, where we dabble in, which is more for our agency clients, where we're getting a lot of stuff done for them. And so if you were to look at this, we're never going to set up trainings on fundamental pages or anything like that. Now, you're going to see some training from us on traffic and advanced marketing and things like that, and maybe in analytical stuff, but we're not going to be spending a lot of time on that. That's not where we are specialized in, okay? But we can be able to create some kind of content if you wanted to around those, but again, it's not necessary. Specialize in a few of these areas based on the milestones that you've created for your perfect client, then take them from point A to point B. Now, you could see that if they were to looking to escape from not having a website that doesn't sell to having a website set up that does sell, and we were to focus on these 3 main pieces, it makes our job a lot easier, a lot less overwhelmed, and we're going to be able to deliver the results that are necessary for our clients to see the income increase that they're looking for. And this is us focusing on those 3 areas: marketing pages, marketing messages, and automation. Now, what we want to make sure we're doing is obviously selling at an emotional level. Remember, that was the third level. You have the global level, you have the milestone level, and now you have the emotional level. Let's say that this person, right, this business owner who has never sold anything online, doesn't have a website, and we were to actually take them from point A to point B. Well, remember the first thing that we were talking about was conversions in the 3-column slide where we were talking about the frustration, the symptom, and the emotion. So the frustration we're still speaking to because we want to be able to help them convert a lot more. But on the emotional level, here's how we can actually get them to see the results in advance, which is going to help you build that relationship and build that authority within your marketplace so that whenever they feel like they're ready to take that next step, now they're going to feel like, wow, this person ended up showing me all this cool things, right? Walked me through a process, shared with me all the milestones that I needed to achieve, broke it down on an emotional level, and now we're going to help them get conversions. So the first thing that we want to focus on, of course, is the belief that it can actually be done. If they're in that mindset where I don't even know if this is even going to work for me, well, start sharing stories of success, right? Start sharing about how, a good person to read is, Ogilvy, David Ogilvy. And what happens when you read a lot of his stuff is he's an expert, direct sales marketer, right? And he was doing a lot of direct mail a long time ago, 50, 60 years ago. And he's sold, I think he's one of the top sales of of ever, not online, because of course it was direct mail back then. But he was one of the top salespeople. I'm talking like hundreds of millions of dollars inside of his direct sales campaigns for companies that are really reputable still today. And when you could share with them some of these stories that even he's gone through and say, look, back in the 1930s, here's a article, or here's a sales letter that was able to generate over $100,000 or $100 million or turned this company into X, then you would be able to give them that relief that, okay, it is a belief that it can be done. So it doesn't even have to be clients of your own or your own results. It's better if it's not. It's better if it's third party, because then they're going to be able to see that, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. And this is the walkthrough we want to make sure that they are understanding. We got to get them to believe that it can be done. And the best way to do that is by sharing stories of success. Now you want to be able to also let them know that understanding modeling, right? And there's a tale of two men example. It was back in the New York Times a few years ago, quite a long time ago actually, where they ended up doing an article on the tale of two men, where two men went to college. One man was very successful, highly successful, and the other man wasn't. They both went to the same college, did the exact same classes, were a part of the exact same groups, but one ended up being a lot more successful than the other. And they related it back to saying that one of them that was more successful was the one that was reading the New York Times. Now, when you share with them about the modeling aspect, that story right there is huge. But then again, you have to make sure that they understand that that article, that one sales piece, that written article inside the New York Times was not their own idea. It was modeled from another company previous before that, years before that. And this is a true story. You could look it up. And having that understanding of modeling and how they can have that relief now to say, okay, well, I don't have to start from scratch. I don't have to create everything and reinvent the wheel. I could literally start modeling after what's worked, finding, of course, what's working, and then modeling after that. So you want to get them to understand the modeling aspect, and you could do this by sharing some examples. And then you would want to make sure that they understand the offer structure. And you would say, hey, look, here's a swipe file that's going to give you an understanding of how to create the perfect offer, including risk reversal, scarcity, guarantees, all kind of irresistible, intriguing offers, right? You want to have all these things that you could share with them. You can give them a swipe file. Now, the final step in this would be headline structures, right? Because if you can't get someone to read your letters or to open up your emails or to click through on your advertisements or to buy from your website, a lot of the time it's just a few headline tweaks. And so when you can give them a proper headline structure, which is good for you guys for being in the academy, because you guys have a training inside this, which is the top headline formula. And I give you, I think it's over 9 of the best headlines that you could start to use, tweak, and manipulate to your own industry. And so that's already inside this academy for you. But imagine taking them from point A to point B. Do you think that if they were to believe they could do it, they understood the modeling concept, they had a proper offer structure, and they understood how to create compelling headlines, that they could increase their conversions? Most likely, right? And so what we want to do is get them to see that, wow, just by doing this one or these 4 steps, and we're going to help you with that by giving you the swipe files, giving you the examples, and sharing with you the content to get you results in advance. The moment that they make a sale on their own, the moment they start driving traffic to their website or to their offer, and they start to use what you've given them, and they make some sales, even if it's one sale, you're going to see that as a big, big trust bridge that was just created. They're going to be able to look at you and go, wow, this person has helped me out tremendously. And what's going to happen in their mind is their subconscious is going to kick in, and they're going to go, who do you want to go to? Do you want to go to a brand new person who really might not know where you're at inside your business? They might only be looking for, sales. They might not have the same kind of training. It might be contradictory. We don't want to do that. There's a lot of people, and I'd say a lot of the majority is going to be able to have that, what we call like a shopping cart method, right? So as another example is when you go grocery shopping, you end up making two purchases. And a lot of people don't realize this. You actually purchase the product twice. You put the product or whatever it is that you're buying, you put the cereal from the shelf inside of your shopping cart. Purchase number one, right? And then you go through shopping, you're picking out the whatever it is on your list, right? So you got your whole grocery list inside your shopping cart. You've made purchases mentally inside of your mind. Your subconscious has already made that purchase. You already know that when you put it into the cart, you're going to have to pay for it. And so in essence, what we're doing by delivering this results in advance and all this, this content to them, this valuable things that are going to help them get results, we're putting stuff in their shopping cart, right? And when they watch it, it's almost like they're putting it in their shopping cart themselves. What we get to do is place our content on the proverbial shelf. Once they actually consume our content, that's just like them taking that product off the shelf and putting it inside their shopping cart. Once their shopping cart gets full and they're looking for checkout, who do you think they're going to go to? They're going to go to the person that created that content. They're going to go to the person that they've been consuming the content from. And by allowing them to get this content and to give them the results in advance, you're creating this conducive relief that's going to get them to understand and see the end in mind. And in the long run, if you can get them to get even 1 or 2 conversions, they're going to get excited about that. They're going to go, wow, okay, well, I got 1 buyer. How can I get 10? And even if you got somebody who you're selling to right now that's got a 99% conversion rate, you share with them how to get that extra 1%. Everyone's always looking to improve. You give someone a 99% conversion rate, they're still going to go, how do I get to 100? It's just the way we are as human nature. So by developing this content, understanding the 3 levels that you've got to be able to understand to get to the emotional level, and then creating a timeline for each of those levels. So you want to create a milestone effect, just like how we walked through today, that's going to be on a global level, then break that down into a milestone level, and then break that down into an emotional level based on the first frustration that you put inside of your list. Okay, so what I would like to do is see you guys get all these things done and then start to create your content. Like I mentioned in a few slides ago, you do not have to create content for each milestone. You don't have to be a specialist in each of those milestones, but you do have to understand what they're going to need to go through to get them from point A to point B. Then use your specialty knowledge and your expertise in the area that you're looking to grow your business in and create that content that's going to help give them those results in advance. All right. So I'm glad you guys were watching this today. That concludes this video, and I'll see you on the next one.